right now. I don't know if we both needed to clap.
Okay. All right. I'm Ben. This is Daniel.
I'm Daniel.
We don't have a name yet, but Daniel came up with some 2 peas in a podcast.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure out of all the people who have podcasts, somebody else has thought about that. They're probably not big.
Screw off.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's a beautiful...
No,
Anyways, the title is undetermined right now.
Yeah, it's undetermined.
I mean, we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Well, we got 50 more years to figure out. I mean, YouTube will still be up by then, right?
Right, yeah.
You can always change the title.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
First of all, we're going to talk about food, right?
Yeah. Is that going to be a problem?
Yes.
Well, hold on. Okay, I don't know where we left off, but
I don't know. I'm just going to restart again.
Restart.
I'm Ben.
This is Daniel.
Okay. We still don't have a name yet.
Yeah.
But this is only the first one, so that's okay, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
We're going to talk about food.
Mm-hmm.
But more specifically, we want to start a food business.
Yeah. And there's a lot of challenges that come with that.
Hold on. Before we even get that far, I could care less what you have to say about it.
Oh my God. Don't get me started on that. People who are like, I could care less. Like we were just talking about that earlier. You couldn't care less about something. Because if you say you could care less about something, it's already implying that you care. Which some people don't care that they're implying that they care, but you want to imply that you care the most minuscule amount possible. You want to say, I couldn't care less. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Any normal person would think that anyway, but that you wouldn't believe the amount of people that are out there that say, I could care less, and they'll fight you on that.
Trust me, I do believe how many are out there that would fight you on that.
It's disheartening, to say the least.
Whatever, I just want to mention that again.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that. Man, we love food, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love food? I don't know. I'm not going to ask that. There's a lot of anorex probably. People that don't like food.
Well, food is like... I think something that everybody shares. I think food and like music are two like universal like loves that everyone has, or not even loves, but it's just everybody's connected through it because everybody has to eat, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but aside from that, I like to make. If I can't make people laugh, I want to make them happy. And food,
right?
When I was before Walmart, I worked at Brick Oven. Mm-hmm. That was probably my favorite job, honestly. The most underpaid job I ever had, but making food for people. That was my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I feel that because, I mean, you only get so many years, which means you only get so many meals. You want to make each meal.
Every meal count.
Yeah, you want to make it as good as it can be, and that's what I take with me when I cook for myself. Like, I don't want to make like a mediocre sandwich when I can make like a gourmet
$500 Subway sandwich.
Not necessarily like $500, but yeah, like with what you have, like do the best you can with it, you know, and just I don't know. That's why I love cooking.
I don't know, but when you're talking to me about okay, I've known you've loved food for a while.
Yeah.
And just yesterday when you're talking to me about pizza dough.
Yeah.
And you're like, I bought this special Amazon Italian.
It's Italian type 00 flour. I don't even know what that means, but all the recipes call for it. They also call for SAFF or SAFF yeast, which I also bought. And I've got this dough fermenting right now that I used all-purpose flour for, so I don't know how it's going to be. But this week, when that comes in, tomorrow actually, I'm making the other dough.
Well, what's in my fridge right now?
So what's in your fridge right now is just all-purpose flour, rapid rise yeast, and like water and salt and a little bit of sugar. And it'll probably be good, but something about I guess
be good. You don't sound very sure about that.
And the longer you let it ferment, the better it will be. But what I mean is, apparently all these recipes call for this Italian type 00 flour and this SAFF yeast, and it's just supposed to be really good. So I'm excited.
You know what? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like people don't want us to know what that means. I mean, like that's kind of code word.
SAF.
I mean, that's code. Why can't they just say what it is?
I don't know. Well, it's not. It's just SAFF. Like it's capitalized, but it's not spaced out. It's just SAFF yeast. I bet somebody's gonna be listening to this. They're like, they don't know what SAFF yeast is. Like, what are you talking about?
There's freaking PNs.
I have no clue what it is.
I don't know what it is either. I'm just excited to try this pizza dough.
Yeah.
I've never made homemade
Eventually,
pizza dough.
by the way, in this podcast, I want to get to a point where we have Brendan at like a bunch of computers, and when we don't know something, we can say, Brendan, look that up.
Look that up.
Yeah.
Do this. Pulls it up on a big screen.
Yeah, exactly. That's how Joe Rogan does it. He's like, Jamie, look that up, and then he'll pull it up, or we'll be like, Jamie, pull that up, and it'll pull up the video they're talking about. That's high level stuff.
It's high level stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dream, man.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
anyways, so passionate about food. Did you wait? Hold on. In that pizza sauce you were making, did you use my basil?
Yeah, I did.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like using homegrown things is so much better. Like it just, even if it's gonna accomplish the same taste, it's like I grew this. Like you grew that.
That's what I love about food. It's like
exactly.
You see your results of your hard work like immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyways, when I worked at Brick Oven, by the way, that was my first paid job. I would say paid as in on the books job. And at first I thought, man, this is stupid, but now that I look back, I'm like, that is my favorite job that I've done.
Yeah.
Just being a pizza boy, stirring dough. I mean, we would let it proof for like 2 days, just sitting back there. So we'd make dough several days in advance. I know we're like kind of sticking to pizza right now, but
that's okay.
I was like the prep guy. We'd come in at 9 o'clock and prepped for when we open. And we'd spend 2 or 3 hours just cutting vegetables all the time. But I loved being there making pizza all day long. And on Sundays, I was the only person in the kitchen because everybody else would be home, and I would just be running it for like 4 hours by myself.
Really?
Yeah, just me in the kitchen.
That's
and
awesome.
So when we were down on orders, I'd go to the dish pit and be washing it. Okay. Aside from the point, I love to make food.
Yeah.
I love to make food for people, and I constantly like to try to Sable thinks I'm too hard on myself about it, but I constantly like to go, should have done this.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You can always literally improve. Like cooking, you can't, like until you die, you can always improve, It's a craft that you have to hone.
Well, and not only do I like to cook food, I like to eat food.
Yeah.
I like to try as many different foods as I can. If it's not bug related, if it doesn't have like slugs or snails or insects, I'm good. I want to try it.
You'll get to a point where you try those eventually too, though.
I mean, probably. If I leave food out long enough, every so often I go, oh, there's a gnat in my drink.
It's just one gnat.
It's just one gnat. Who cares? First, gnats are the gateway insects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Once you start with gnats,
the gnats, the next day you're eating roaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're going out of your way to get them. You're going to the pet shop to get roaches just because you want.
No, like the cruise. Like, okay, so growing up, my dad, we got to the river and we would hunt for our food. So we'd have squirrel.
Yeah.
We could kill a squirrel and we'd cook it over the fire, or a rabbit, or one time we just killed this weird bird that was around the ground. I don't know what the heck it was. But I'm like, Dad, what is that? And he's like, I don't know, shoot it. so we had bird that night for dinner. Don't know what the heck it was. Don't know what the heck it was. It's probably some now extinct species.
Yeah, the last one.
But so I grew up kind of like, well, if it's an animal, we'll eat it. Now I know insects are classified as animals, but FTS, okay, fuck that.
Yeah.
But so like when we went on this last cruise, and there'd be rabbit on the menu or something, or lamb, or I think what was the other thing? They had beef tongue.
Oh.
I mean, when you're sitting there on a boat with all these other people and you can hear what they're ordering, you're like, I'll take the beef tongue, and you can see everybody looking over you like, what?
Yeah.
I like to try different things, but again, we'll not try insects.
Right.
Okay.
How was the beef tongue?
First of all, have you ever had oysters?
No.
Okay. Like eating fat? You know what it tastes like?
Yeah. Was it just like
the texture, of that?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, oysters are very much like that. When we went to New Orleans the first time, I tried oysters for the first time.
Yeah.
Charbroiled oysters. First of all, what the heck is charbroiled? Because I'm pretty sure a broiler is where the heat comes from the top.
Right.
But what is the charbroiled part? I don't know, but we had charbroiled oysters, and that was one of the most delicious things I've ever had. Yeah.
You liked them?
Super delicious.
Huh.
It was just the consistency of fat with the flavor of whatever they cooked it with.
Right.
Which I think was just garlic and some kind of cheese, Parmesan probably. And we had that on like little sliced baguettes. They had cross sections of baguettes,
Yeah.
and sliced, and we had it on that. Well, I don't actually think Sable ate any, but beef tongue was like the same consistency almost. Like it was super tender. Like it was the most tender thing we've ever eaten. And on a cruise, it's not exactly probably the freshest thing because
you're on the ocean.
They've got to have it pre-made.
Yeah.
And you're on the ocean for several days. So, but no, I liked it. I liked the beef tongue.
That's good.
But anyways, going into this, I do like to try new foods, and so our love for food has brought us to the conclusion we want to start our own restaurant.
Yeah, we need to start a restaurant, and that's like the end goal, I guess, is to have a nice like fine dining like sit down restaurant. But
if they're not calling me the next Gordon Ramsay in 20 years, I've failed myself.
Precisely. Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it just goes back to like, I love food, you love food, we love eating food, and so do most people. But it's also so like rewarding to like make somebody something that they really like, you know. So having a restaurant would be crazy cool.
It would be crazy, and I thought we're gonna talk about how expensive it is.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, but I like the idea of having like a unique food that you don't have in the surrounding area. But starting off, how do you get that money?
Yeah, I don't know. It's either investment or a loan, you know, or you have like investors. I don't know how investors would work, but I don't like the idea of getting a loan because then.
Oh, you mean you don't like get the idea of getting a $20,000 loan?
Yeah, for a food truck.
If that's the most.
That's just for a food truck. Imagine if we wanted a sit down.
If you wanted a sit down place, you're paying for rent every month because you're not buying it.
Right, unless we build our own place.
Well, I mean,
property taxes and.
Well, I mean, can you imagine paying for the property? And where would you pay for the property? Are we going to go outside of town and buy a property? No. So we've concluded that we want to kind of hone in on a small.
Right.
I mean, because if you have a restaurant, you're paying for a staff.
Mm-hmm. It's just us.
How many more thousands of dollars is that a year?
No, we can't do a staff. It's
what
just
was that
us.
girl saying on YouTube?
Which one?
I don't know. With Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. She said if she cut. So Dave Ramsey was like, if you cut your staff or your employees, what are you saving? If it's just you, she's like, it was 20 to 30% off her final cost. So a couple $1,000 per month.
Look, I like food enough that I'll be there a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
yeah.
So automatically we can't have staff. So if we don't have staff, we can't have a big business.
Right.
We don't have a big business.
We're talking like a shack.
We're talking about a shack.
Or a truck, but
which is still
so expensive.
Freaking expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the cost of the trucks that they were talking about? I mean, they were talking about
$12,000 for the truck. I think a used FedEx truck. Depends on like what we would get.
And then they retrofitted that.
Yeah, which their final cost just for the truck and the equipment was like $17,000. I think. Do you remember? I think it was 17.
No, I can't even remember anything right now.
I think it was 17. Don't take my word for it, but
look, I don't know how much my friend paid for the box truck he has, but I feel like it was less than $2,000.
Right.
If we could go to a bank auction, and if we could find a cheap truck, but restaurant equipment costs so much. I remember when we were working. Well, I don't know if I can say this about Brick Oven, but they bought old goods, okay?
I don't think
and it
anything...
still was several $1,000s just for used refrigeration units.
Yeah. I think it's fine buying used, but...
Oh, plus it always broke down. All the time. Okay, the one thing I hated about food, we'd have to roll this refrigeration unit out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember what they called them. And then there was a standing water, and all this food had dropped back behind it.
Yeah.
What? It was so gross every night. And every night we had to pull it out and mop behind it. But the only thing I did not like about food was when food got wet and nasty.
Yeah, that's gross.
But the paying for the truck, we already eliminated staff.
Mm-hmm.
And then licenses. I didn't even look at how many licenses we had to have.
Right.
Let me see if I wrote that down.
She was making it sound crazy expensive on this YouTube video we watched, but I don't think it would be that. I don't think that would be the bulk of our costs.
Yeah, I didn't write down how much. No. The amount of licenses, though, and I think for food trucks, you have to update them more often than a regular.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so then I had the idea, like, okay, so if we don't have the money for a sit-down restaurant, you go to a fast mobile. Mm-hmm. What are they called? Trucks. You go to a food truck. You don't have the money for a food truck. What if we cook from home?
Yeah.
And you can do that, but
you run into a lot of problems.
Yeah. They have it's called cottage laws, right? Mm-hmm. So you can cook certain things from your home.
Anything that's not
it's different per state,
right? Yeah.
But for our state, you can basically only bake, and I'm not a baker.
Yeah. Me either.
I've never
it's
made
not my
bread.
specialty. Like I've done it before, but
Well, you're just now getting into
I'm
it.
getting into dough, yeah, which pizza dough. But I think that's easier than bread in a way. I don't really know though.
I don't know, but if we could figure out how to do the dough, cookies, any kind of baked good. What was it? Some kind of dried fruit.
Yeah, not dried, but like jams and stuff, jams and jellies, or we could do dried fruits. I don't know.
No, I'm saying like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we could start out with that, somehow create a base there, and slowly get enough money to buy a truck.
Right.
But even buying a truck, I mean, what was that guy saying? $500 for him just to leave a lot to go make some money?
Yes.
Because he had to stock up on propane.
Right.
At the groceries. And then, what was the other thing?
Well, gas, but...
Gas. I mean, what are they getting, 8 miles a gallon?
Yeah, and one of the guys was saying, like you don't, like, it's he made it seem like you're not making that much money. What you're making, you're turning around and putting it in your stock, like your groceries for the next day. And it's like... Well,
I mean, to grow your business, you want to turn your money right back into the business. But, yeah, it seemed like... No, hold on. He just said something about $1,500 a day. That one guy, he eventually got up to $1,500 a day.
Yeah.
And then what he took home from that was about $300.
3 to 5, yeah.
Was what he got home.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
A day, yeah.
I mean, what am I making
I've
now?
never had a job where I made $300 a day. So.
No. I mean, but listen, as a server, I've seen people make close to that. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen...
I remember working in the kitchen. I could work 10 hours a day, and I would not even pull half of what the servers were making.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you're a girl, it's a lot. Which is just the way it is. Yeah,
so basically, we woke up today, or we decided last night that today we're going to decide how we're going to start a business and get the money. And today, while figuring that out, we decided we cannot do this.
Yeah, we decided
this is not possible.
It's not possible. Not starting out the way we are. We'd have to have large...
Do you remember that commercial for Visine? I think it was, and the guy was like, "I'm in debt up to my eyeballs."
No, I don't, but...
That's where we would be.
Yeah, we would.
No, it's not feasible right now.
No.
And that literally that kills me.
Yeah, it is.
It is so daunting to look at starting a business, and that's really coming in with the entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
Looking at something that's impossible and still going, no, I'm going to do it. Look, I don't have it, I guess.
Well, that's kind of how we got to the idea of starting a podcast, because we're like, well, we can't do food. Let's start a podcast.
Okay, how do we start to get to the point where we can even make the baked goods? No, I'm okay with, I'd like to be a baker. Here's the deal. I think people who bake are like the top tier chefs. Honestly, I think baked goods are the hardest to probably do.
It is, yeah.
Working with like time limits. I mean, I don't even know what the heck I'm talking about, but I guess even saying that I don't know what I'm talking about means it's hard. Yeah. I don't know how to bake. I don't know how people do that.
Have you ever watched like the Great British Bake Off or whatever?
We fell asleep watching that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's intense. It's like a sport. Like anybody can like.
Well, no, what's that other show?
Oh
my god!
Is it a baking one or?
It's a baking one. It was like desserts. There's a woman hosts it. It's like a baking show, and they'll give them like a thing that they have to recreate. And
are they also British in it?
Well, no. There's a one like French guy,
and
he like describes how they made the item. God, I don't remember. But anyways, so yeah, we decided we can't do it. We went from restaurant to food truck
to shack
to shack, and then we went from commercial cooking down to like cottage cooking.
Yeah,
and then. Makes me sad. And then you know what's one business we could maybe start? I don't know if our town's big enough yet for it, but like the commercial kitchens, just having a kitchen to rent out to people.
Oh yeah.
Like not even for businesses, but you could host like cooking classes in it.
That actually might be but then you get into where are we getting the thousands and thousands of dollars to get the kitchen equipment?
Dude, I know. Never mind. Yeah. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Well, I mean.
But going back to food, I started growing my own herbs.
Yeah, It has a full garden going.
Herbs is in edible. Okay, I'm not going to say edibles either. Okay, I'm talking about thyme, squash, tomatoes, all that. This is the first year I wanted to do a garden because I wanted to cook with the items that I created, but the only things I wanted were literally Tabasco peppers. And you know what? The only things I can't grow.
The Tabasco peppers, yeah.
The Tabasco peppers would not grow.
Yeah, I remember you had the little like sapling, and then
oh my gosh,
you were watering it or something, and it fell off. Sad.
Dude, it broke my heart. Yeah. I mean, Tabasco peppers, ever since my dad started growing them, was my like favorite, not vegetable, okay, but as far as peppers, okay, I love peppers. I love hot food, and a Tabasco pepper was perfect. I mean, when you get a Tabasco pepper, when it's like orange or red.
Yeah, my first experience with them was on Chicago Dogs, like in Chicago, and then I.
That's actually where I first had them.
Yeah.
When Sonic started introducing them, that's the first time I had like a Tabasco pepper. Right. It was pickled.
Yeah, and I realized it was really good, and I was like, so I looked into it, and some people call them like sport peppers or something. And it's just Tabasco peppers are pickled, and they're really good. I have a jar in my fridge all the time now.
The sport pepper is when they're pickled, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, that's the pepper I wanted to start growing. And that's the only one that wouldn't grow. But I remember I bought some serranos from Walmart, and I took a slice, and then I just kept some of the seeds, and like, we'll see. I mean, hybrids, they're not really going to produce anything. And I put them in some, like those little plastic planters that have like...
Yeah.
This was like 6 different slots or 8 different slots, and I covered them with dirt. Nothing grew. Then I planted something else there, and eventually some like plants started coming up there, and I'm like, what the heck are these things coming up? I completely forgot I even did the serranos. I got 2 serrano plants. Yeah, I got 2 little serrano plants out there.
Wow. What if you said your dad grows Tabascos. What if you like got one of his plants or something, and I don't know how that works, but could you plant it in your own thing?
What are you talking about? Like getting one of the peppers?
Yeah, and then grow it from that.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
But you want to grow it from...
I want to do it the hard way.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is how I am with everything. I like to start with the most basic amount that I can until I get
I've never met anybody who plays video games like you. Like you're the true definition of an achievement hunter. Like, I couldn't really care less about... Or I could care less about getting achievements and stuff, but... I do get why you find it satisfying. I just don't have that mindset, kind of.
No, I wish... Well, you just mentioned video games. Yeah. I wish that when you go into a video game, they would literally start you at 0. But no, like Oblivion, one of my all-time favorite games, they automatically started your stats out at like 5 or 10.
Really?
I was like, I want freaking 0. I want to see the progress.
Yeah.
With Skyrim, I would take off all the clothes. I would punch somebody to death until I could get a weapon.
That's hilarious.
Or with Minecraft, I wanted to... There was a mode actually on the 360 where you couldn't... in an adventure mode, you could not break anything unless you had the proper tool for it.
Oh, you couldn't do it.
Now adventure mode, I think you can't even break any block, period. But that used to be where you had to have the proper tool for it. Like if you wanted to break dirt, you'd have to have a shovel. If you wanted to break wood, you had to have an axe. And I was like, let me try to get some wood without ever punching anything.
Yeah.
So I would get a creeper really close and let it blow up without killing me. I mean, and this is back before they had a 100% drop rate.
Oh my god.
So it was like I would almost die a few times just trying to get
hilarious. You would get a creeper, blow up a tree so you could get
a few
wood.
Get a few blocks of wood into something.
Wow.
Yeah, and that once I did it once, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Wow.
But they changed adventure mode. Mm-hmm. Anyways, back to my garden.
Yeah.
So I like to test things too. So I didn't even plant a full garden because, first of all, I waited too late. Second of all, the way I wanted to do it, when I was in agricultural class, what they did was they tilled the garden. Well, they tilled the dirt, and then they like put this plastic down.
Yeah.
And covered up the edges of the plastic so that you wouldn't ever have to weed or anything. But they had this little tape. They call it T-tape. That it was like thin, but the water would go through it, and you'd puncture holes at every feet so that it would feed directly into the plant when you turn the water on. So you weren't wasting water. Okay.
Right.
I don't want to plant a garden unless I do that because I'm like I paid for school to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. So I just tried putting some seeds on paper towels, and when one started to sprout, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I looked up how to do that, and so I just started putting some seeds on paper towels and kept them damp and put them in plastic bags, and put them in there, and I ended up with 3 squash plants that are producing more than my parents' like 12 squash plants. Yeah, they have yet to harvest any squash.
Really?
Yeah, all of their squash plants have not produced anything.
Wow.
I had 3 seeds, and they have produced so far
one.
8 squash.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've had some of those squash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8 squash, and then I have tomato plants. I had 4 of them that sprouted, and right now there's 2 tomatoes growing off those. None of my pepper plants have done anything.
Yeah, except your serranos.
Well, they started growing,
right?
But nothing has been produced yet. I have some. They're called piñata peppers. I've never had them. They're like all these different multicolors. They're starting to bud, but nothing's grown yet. And then the thyme. I am so proud of that thyme.
Yeah, your thyme does look really good.
Are you kidding me? Like that, it looks beautiful. That's how I learned clay pots.
What was that one that was kind of spotty last week? It wasn't. I think it was a different time. Like it had spots on it or whatever.
Oh no, I had spots on it because it's like sickly.
Right. Is it better?
That's because of plastic.
Yeah.
Those plastic pots hold that water. It won't evaporate. That's why I'm switching to clay pots. I switched to clay pots today. That's what I'm giving to Dawson.
Yeah. Nice.
But it'll do fine. It's just it's not a very healthy plant, but it is thyme, just regular thyme.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, I started growing herbs because I wanted to grow. Oh no, the whole reason I started trying to grow herbs was I wanted tarragon because I wanted to start making béarnaise sauce. Oh, that's the whole point of this whole conversation.
I didn't even know what tarragon was until you told me that you were growing it for.
I still almost don't know what it is. Yeah. The taste is so wild. I don't even know what the heck to describe it as. But I've never had fresh tarragon, and so we bought some. I don't want to say I bought it from Whole Foods. But I bought it from Whole Foods. Oh, okay. Some dried tarragon to try to make this sauce. Yeah. And basically, béarnaise is just hollandaise. You know what hollandaise is?
It's like eggs and
butter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where you. I think the word would be emulsify. Yeah. It's where you mix the fat with the egg, and you stir it over a low heat until it all becomes like a custard. Béarnaise is basically just hollandaise, but you add. What's it called when you cook something down? A mixture of like white wine.
Reduction?
Reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to be chefs and we don't even know what the hell we're talking about. A reduction of fresh tarragon, white wine, shallots. I think that was the 3 things that I watched a guy make it out of. And I tried to make it with the dried tarragon. Didn't turn out the way I wanted it. Not only did I not whisk the eggs into the reduction but the taste wasn't there, so I wanted to start growing my own fresh tarragon because you can't buy it at our Walmart.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Like how you get to like you could conquer the world with that mindset. Like you want to make your own béarnaise sauce or béarnaise sauce, but you can't do it with the dried tarragon. So you're like, I'm just gonna grow my own. Like you should apply
grow my own
everything. Like.
I mean,
it's crazy. It's a good mindset to have.
I mean, I guess if I was different mindset as far as I'd rather take the easier route.
Whoops! I hit my mouth.
I would probably have a whole lot more plants out there than I do. But I was like, no, I'm gonna start them on paper towels, and if they don't start, I don't want them. So I only have 2 tarragon plants. But what's great is I've never seen these plants grow. I've never tasted fresh, and so when I tasted the other day, I'm like. Oh God! I had to spit it out. It was like too overpowering. Yeah. But I've got rosemary growing. I love rosemary.
I love rosemary too. Rosemary and thyme go really well together too.
Listen. I've played around with rosemary, white wine, and basically cream. I am so proud of my rosemary cream sauce.
Is it good?
Are you gonna ask me if that's good?
No, like I'm asking you to make it for me right now. Like
yeah. Okay. Look. Okay. I'll give you a little rundown. I'm pretty proud of this.
What do you put it on first of all? Just go ahead and give me a rundown.
Chicken. Rosemary chicken.
Okay.
So I saw this recipe and it was basically just chicken breasts, and so I cut them in half because I'm pretty bad about undercooking my meat because I do not like overcooked meat at all. And so if it's chicken, that's really dangerous. But with like meat or whatever, or like beef, I like it to be bleeding. But with the chicken, I cut a breast in half, a thick breast, and I salt it. Put dried rosemary on it and pepper, and I just fry it at a high temp, just to sear it real hard, and then I let it fry until it's white in the middle, whatever. but the whatever's left in the fixins
Yeah.
that's left in the pan.
Yeah.
I pour in the white wine, a bunch of it, like
man.
half a pan full, and I just let that reduce until it's about half of what I poured in. What the hell, Dewey? I'm telling a story here. And then I let that reduce until it's about half of what I poured in there, and then I pour in my cream.
Yeah.
And let that bubble and mix. I forgot to mention what I add fresh rosemary at the start of letting the wine reduce.
Right, so it doesn't get like burnt.
Dude, I love it so much.
That sounds good. You have to make it for me, dude.
Oh my god, I love it. It's like I used to make Alfredo, but now when I started using this rosemary cream sauce, that's
well,
what
I
I
love
make
Alfredo too, but that rosemary cream sauce.
Dude, this is the kind of stuff I would like to make in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I want to cook like this.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I'm an experienced 5-star chef. What the hell is that cat doing?
He's gonna live in the bag, I think. No, he's just gonna nap there. I hope he's just gonna lay down, sleep there. Yeah. No, yeah. That sounds really good. That's the
type of stuff I want to cook.
Exactly.
I mean, if we're not going to be trained the best chefs in the
We're
world,
gonna be self-taught.
we're going to be self-taught. I mean, even self-taught, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be out here the next breakfast cafe serving frozen biscuits
Exactly, dude.
and gravy from a bag. Okay.
Right. Or the next
When I'm making
pizza
gravy,
place.
my mom taught me. Oh, actually, the first time I saw gravy being made was from my dad. You know, just fried sausage, add his flour. I don't think it's called a roux because there's not like a lot of fat for it to make like a little like mix. But with that flour binding with the grease from the sausage, pouring your milk and it thickens. I mean, they can't even. I mean, it takes like 15 minutes, but they can't even make that for you.
Powdered.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere you go. I mean, and
see, that's what I'm all about. Is like the best, like most authentic stuff you can make because it not only does it gives you a sense of reward, like, and it's better tasting, and it's like, yeah, I made that from as close to scratch as I could. Like,
you forget that there even wasn't a reward there. It just tastes better.
It tastes
I guess
better.
that is a reward in itself.
Right.
But I mean, if we just could, I would hate to go into a breakfast business. There's just so many of them around. It's just so. I mean, it's just so bland.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to. Well, I mean, I love Ranch House, but if you go there, I mean, it's just eggs and powdered gravy. I mean, it doesn't taste like fresh biscuits.
And which, when you think about it, like, they're throwing away the potential. They have this restaurant that we wish we had with like all this kitchen equipment. They have the potential to make this fresh gravy.
What was Jesse's Kitchen?
Yeah.
They went out of business. I mean, I don't know if they went out of business or the guy just decided to end it, but I guess they were doing okay where they were. This is another problem with businesses that I learned. Not only location, but like if you think you've got a big enough following to get a bigger place, you don't get such a big place that it looks like there's a bunch of empty seats. Even if you've got enough customers to keep you floating, the perception of the public when they see a bunch of empty seats, they like automatically think it's bad.
Yeah, I think you're right though. It was better like when it was at that little.
It was better because they had like 10 booths.
Right.
So even if they weren't serving a bunch of people a day, it always looked like it was full. Yeah, the perception might have been what killed them. But and then that other place, Neighborhood Diner.
Yeah.
I think I was 20 years old before I even tried them for the first time.
I've still
They've
not
been
tried
here.
them. I've never tried the Neighborhood Diner. Yeah.
You didn't go with us one time?
No. You're talking about the one that's on the left when you're like going on Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never been there.
Okay, well, for some reason, I feel like they only take cash. I don't remember.
Probably.
I think Sable had to pay because I didn't have any money for some reason. But they're the same way. It's like they had one item that I hadn't seen before, and it was just like hot. What's it called? The shredded potatoes, hash browns.
Hash browns.
They had like some special hot hash browns, and it was just hash browns with like peppers put on it, but it wasn't anything special. So we've got the Ranch House, Neighborhood Diner. There was Jesse's Kitchen. Then there's the other cafe, which by the way closes at like 2 in the afternoon.
Martha's or whatever. Martha's.
Yeah, that might be. I don't even know what it's called because it's so ununique.
Townhouse Cafe.
So there's 4 different places, and then Jamie's does a breakfast, which I do like Jamie's, but I mean it's just all the same breakfast foods. Not only
and it's all done the same way too.
Yeah, it's all done the same way. Yeah. Not only is it the same food, it's all done the same way. And not only is it all done the same way, it all seems so overpriced for what you're getting. When you eat powdered gravy, you know you're eating powdered gravy. Yeah. Why do I want to pay $6 for powdered gravy?
Right. when you can make it for cheaper than that. The real
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Just pour some milk in there and flour.
Right.
Okay, I don't know. See, I think if I could have a business right now, a restaurant, if me and you had one right now, forget my Walmart job, I think we could make it work.
I think so too. It's just the startup and all that, you know?
Getting it going.
Because I'm the same way as you. Like, when it comes to the pizza, I want to eventually get my pizza recipe to be, like, I want to, like, mill my own flour. I want to grow my own tomatoes.
Look, my dad, you know my dad's a survivalist type
Yeah.
deal, right? I think it was, not chicory, not thistle. It was some wild plant that he collected some seeds from. Oh, and it was like, it has the properties to help cure your liver.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think I've already said this. But I truly believe that there's a push from the powers that be to get people to rely on the government. So all of these medicines that used to work, like properties that help restore your liver. Are you kidding me? Why is that not being like spread around?
No, I think you're right. And like
thistle,
we're gonna have a conspiracy like episode. I
Definitely.
don't know if it's this one, but we're going to have probably next week.
Definitely. But okay, back to it. My dad harvested all these seeds. I don't remember what they were for, but he saw something where they milled those seeds and they create bread from that, and it was like,
yeah, dude, that's like the dream. Like, make everything, even if it doesn't taste as good as like going out somewhere. It's like
you made
this. You did this from, like, you just went out into the world and made this. Like,
Joe Rogan talked about something like this when he was talking about Bob Lazar. He was like, we have all these things. We have guns, and the people that are using them. We have trains and planes and automobiles. Movie reference. And no one knows how they work. They just think, I'm going to push on that pedal and I'll go faster. But they don't understand how a piston has to fire and then the amount of oxygen that helps it fire. People don't know where their food comes from. They don't know how things are made. I want to learn the processes for all this. So, yeah, if making noodles, I bought Sable what's it called?
Like a pasta.
It was a pasta thing. You know, you roll the crank and it cuts it. And so we tried to start learning to make noodles, and it was, I didn't do it right, you know. I didn't make it very well. I just looked up a few recipes, and I guess I just didn't do it right. But even though it wasn't, like, perfect,
you made it in your kitchen.
I was still happier with those noodles.
Yeah.
Than the scrap, and then it cooks super fast.
Yeah.
You got a little bit more prep time, you know, because you're mixing the flour and the eggs and stuff, but it cooks in like a minute. You're not waiting for water to basically boil and cook your eggs for 15 or whatever. And it was super fast. And I made it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it took 3 ingredients, but I'm paying $1 per pound over here at Walmart for great value.
Yeah.
And forget great value. Berea or Barilla? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, dude, we need to start a restaurant. I'm telling you.
I don't know how we're gonna get there, but we need to. Maybe I'll just.
Let me just sell my cars and my belongings and
I might just take over the place that I currently work at, which I won't name, but I might just take that over and then turn it into our restaurant. I don't know, because we've already got an established kitchen and like a place. I don't know.
I'm not gonna say where you work, but I could learn to cook Thai food. Okay.
The only Thai place in Arizona. Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't even want to be a Thai restaurant though. I would want to be what we do. You know.
Well, who cares? Who cares what you do as long as you do it well?
Yeah.
Not even well, but I think half these places that are open, it's almost like they don't even have a passion for it either. I mean, I go back to Brick Oven. It wasn't like we were doing something that was unheard of. It was just simple pizza. But, I mean, we didn't locally source our ingredients, you know. We bought blocks of cheese and we shaved them there. But I think the more processes you cut out of your processed foods, the more people actually enjoy your food.
Yeah, for sure. I mean? And that's another thing. I want to make my own mozzarella. Like,
oh, you're gonna go kill an unweaned calf?
No. I'm gonna.
Can we talk about that for a second? How the fuck? Did people learn that they needed to kill a calf?
We're talking about Renee or Rennet or whatever.
Let me see how it's even pronounced.
Google, when I pressed the thing, it said Rennet, but I think it was because it was an American like voice. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna call it Rennet for now.
Yeah, that's fine. You talk about it because I don't even know how it works, but it's like an acid.
The only thing I can think is back in time. Okay, first of all, what is rennet?
Yeah.
And what it said was that it was not cultured, uncurdled milk from the lining of a unweaned calf's stomach. Mm-hmm. How the fuck
do you get there?
Do you kill an unweaned calf, get in its stomach, and go,
I need this
I can make fucking cheese with this? You know what I mean? Like,
who was the first person that did that, and why? What was their thought process?
Veal. When I first learned that veal was like a calf that was killed. Mm-hmm. I don't know, when they start going, you know what, this calf needs to die right now.
Yeah, like, it's going to taste much better now that its muscles haven't, like...
I don't know. What the hell? But I guess now they don't exactly use the same rennet.
Right. There's, like, fake, basically.
Genetically modified? I don't know.
Yeah, like...
They make it from bacteria?
There's a word for it that's escaping me, but, like, synthetic. Like, basically, it's not actually from animals. They make it in a lab somewhere or something. But
it blows my mind how many things we eat still currently made from animals that you would never suspect. Mm-hmm. When people told me that gelatin was made from horse hooves, like, get out of here.
I think like pig skin too, or something like that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think so. There's a episode of like how to make or something.
How it's made.
I was doing we're not authorized to talk about them, so I was going off brand. But yeah, and it shows them in a factory like lining up a conveyor belt with like pig skin. I don't know if it's gelatin or some gelatin snack, but yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with like fried pig skin. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What are they called? Pork rinds.
Pork rinds, yeah.
What's the difference between pork rinds and chicharrones?
I think one is in Spanish.
Look, I thought one had more meat on it.
Maybe.
Honestly. I don't know. But wait, what were we talking about? I just had a thought though. Like, getting back to food, I wanted to do. Not a lot of places around here do like Southern cooking. Like,
which is weird because we're like in the South.
We've got what Western Sizzling does the most Southern food. Every once in a while they do turnip greens and salt pork. I think they serve brown beans. What else do they sell?
Chicken. I don't know if you said that.
Chicken,
yeah.
But, and then there's a few other places that sell a few things like brown beans and still. But I'm talking about, if we did a food truck, fast things, beef tenderloin, sliced, breaded, deep fried, 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Cornbread. Oh, the cool thing I saw the other day on GMM was, I guess in Texas they have a cornbread brick basically hollowed out on the inside and it's filled with a white bean chili.
Oh, really?
That is some 2020 futuristic.
The Texas
level.
Roadhouse or something like that episode. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
What? Texas Roadhouse.
They were doing a steak comparison or something.
No, my friend.
Okay.
You are misguided.
Okay.
No, but back to it. I mean, I got off work the other day, went to my mom's house because she said she had some beef tenderloin. Mm-hmm. I'm eating that and just a few slices of white onion and some cucumbers from their garden with some salt on them. You know how fast it is to slice an onion? You know how fast it is to slice a cucumber and serve it with salt on it?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know a whole lot. I don't know how many people would actually go for it, but I feel like around here, people grew up eating that. Well, a lot of people that were eating home cooked food. Right. I don't know if your mom cooked like that for you, but
not necessarily like we didn't do like beef. We did all kinds of stuff like lasagna. We made lasagna a lot. We made Italian food a lot.
Well,
but
growing up, it was not unusual to come home and hear this. Yeah, that was their pressure cooker going off. My mom would have the windows down, the air conditioner off, the door open, and I would hear that from a mile away coming home to the pressure cooker. She was cooking some beans, man. We'd eat beans with cornbread. Sometimes she'd have some turnip greens with it. But I would love to just have a little place that did some home-cooked Southern food.
Yeah, and I like the idea of using, like, stuff that you grew or your mom grew, or we could source from, like, the farmers markets, you know?
Well, the problem is I don't know how to get the production level to feed.
Right, to fit what we need. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said the farmers market, because, like, I mean, as often as we could use stuff that we made or grew, but I just like the idea of, like, instead of going to Walmart, you know, and buying a bunch of cucumbers, like, we go to the farmer's market on Saturday morning, buy like a couple pounds of cucumbers. It's like taking out processed.
You know what the North Ark does?
What?
I don't know how much money they put into their greenhouse. This greenhouse is temperature controlled. Mm-hmm. It is hydroponic. They have vats of water that they mix their nutrients in, and it cycles through these tubs where these plants are. I don't think there's even a medium that the plants are growing in. The roots are just hanging down the water.
Yeah.
And it works because the water is constantly changing through and getting aerated, and so that it's never like the roots are never getting, I don't know, sick.
Right.
But anyways, they will source their lettuce. I think they sell some lettuce at Walmart, honestly. I think the butter lettuce that we sell, they sell to Neighbor's Mill for their lettuces.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
they do sell at Neighbor's Mill.
Yeah.
A sign for it, yeah.
So, I mean, I would love to. I've always wanted to be like a horticulturalist.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think plants.
Yeah,
stuff.
I want to grow plants, but I want to grow like a variety of plants inside of like a controlled area.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about the ultimate goal?
Yeah.
Own a restaurant. Own the production line. What is it? What? Vertical monopoly.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's just
I want to control it from the ground to the plants, to the processing, to the distribution.
I'm with you there, dude. I want to be involved in all the parts of it. Like that, I think that's just so cool. Like something you completely do yourself. Like you're making the ingredients, you're selling the ingredients, you're cooking them. It's all under your control. That's awesome.
If I only met you a few years ago.
Before you sold your life to Walmart.
Before I sold I love Walmart. Before I sold my life to Walmart, before I ever got caught up in doing, so I got a degree in business management.
Yeah.
I didn't pay a dime for school, but what am I doing? I'm working at Walmart. If I had gone for something like those a college for cooking, I think the problem is I didn't learn what my passion was, and now I've learned what I would love to do is almost. It's not too late, but I've got myself in a hole.
Well, it's never too late.
I've got myself in a rug, and if you're dead, yes, it's too late, my friend.
Well, yeah, I think that's the only time you can say it's too late. But I think as long as you're still kicking, it's never too late to like start something you want to do, even if you can't finish it. But a quote that I heard from my audiobook: "What's the most important step a man can take? Not the first one, but the one after that."
Dude, that's powerful.
Yeah. That's why we have to do another podcast next week. So this isn't just the first step.
I don't know. How long has this one even been?
We're about at, 30 minutes? Oh, 50? 50 minutes?
50 minutes. That's healthy. That's a healthy little bite.
Yeah, man. I agree.
What were we just talking about?
Like food.
A vertical monopoly.
Yeah, vertical monopoly.
Yeah, I would love to be able to grow my own stuff. There's two things that I would love to do. I don't want to be a farmer. I just said I want to get into horticulture because I want to be the guy who's crossbreeding plants, trying to create better.
Right.
Like my dad. Okay, I told you my dad's a survivalist.
Yeah.
And he's telling me, he's like, son, you know how you tell hemlock from Queen Anne's lace? By the way, Queen Anne's lace is wild carrots. Because he's talking about eating them. He's like, the difference is one's fuzzy, one's not. One can kill you, one can't. And he's like. Today he came over and he was looking at the carrot I had out there growing. He's like, "Ben, this is really strange. There's no fuzzy on this carrot. Is it? Or is this like hemlock?" I'm like, no, it's genetically modified, Dad. That's why that carrot's not even producing seeds.
Yeah.
Those hybrids, they don't do anything. If the world were to crash and burn right now, half the seeds would be useless because. Yeah. You will get something called volunteers from some seeds. If you throw your tomatoes out in the garden, my parents have some. Where like a genetically modified tomato can still like produce a new plant, but it's unlikely. Half the things, I heard that in Alaska we have like a big vault with all the seeds we've ever had in case something happens to our country or to the world. Too.
I think you told me that probably. But yeah. So
people. Oh my God, my dad's got me into conspiracy theories. I already said 3 times I'm not one. I am definitely one.
The next episode is probably going to be conspiracy theories. Because we could go back and forth for that for hours.
We can. So what have we learned? We're kind of in a pickle. We're in a pickle, Dick. Follow your dreams. As you can. We're in a pickle because we would love to make food.
We'd love to make our own pickles.
Sell that food. Yeah. But we're kind of in a rut.
Yeah. But it's not. I mean, it's not too late.
It's not too late, but it might be hard to climb out of. I mean, look, we talked about it. Basically, make $1,500 a month. Mm-hmm. Most of my money is gone by the end of the month, not because I'm blowing it, but because I've got bills.
Yeah.
I guess that might be kind of blowing it because I chose to get the car I got.
Right, but
I chose to get the phone I got. I chose to get that other loan for the house.
Yeah.
But regardless, the cost of living is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And this is like the cheapest place I think in the U.S. to basically live. So I can't even imagine what it's like to start a business in New York.
Yeah. Oh man. Like yeah.
That's probably why they changed their laws in California, so you can make different things.
Yeah, from the house, like the
because people
laws.
are like, we're not gonna have any restaurants because no one can afford anything.
He was saying that the state changed the laws, but it was still up to the counties and the like towns or whatever they had.
Oh, so in 20 years they'll agree on something. Okay, that'd be cool. Well, hopefully Arkansas will catch up because if they don't, we're pretty much never gonna make one.
Yeah.
No, once I get my car paid off, okay, let's have a little goal here. Can we end this with some goals?
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good way to end it.
11 months ago, I bought that car. Mm-hmm. I'm already $2,000 off of it. Well, more than that. What does that put me at to pay off $16,000? In 5 years, I think we can start making.
All right, dude.
5 years goal. I'm gonna have my car paid off, and we're gonna start a fund to fund this business. If before then we don't have something else figured out. 5 years, bro.
5 years, guys.
You got 5 years to figure it out. Because if not,
I'm actively working on it right now, and I will be for the next 5 years.
Start making that pizza dough. Start selling it to Tall Grass. Yeah. Start selling it to Neighbor's Mill. You know what? You can sell it to Neighbor's Mill. You know why? Because Neighbor's Mill dough sucks.
It kind of does. No offense to them. Please, like, what if they sponsor us eventually, like, down the road?
I hope they don't ever come back and watch the video. Anyway, I mean...
Yeah, I don't like their
pizza dough is awful.
Yeah.
Their bread is delicious. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, though, they pissed me off last time I was there. Did I tell you about this?
The price? Oh, the sandwich. You thought you wanted like a...
We spent 10 minutes looking at the menu. First of all, I hate how they're set up.
The menu.
Please take offense. It's a stupid way to set up your thing. You order twice, basically, because you go to this first part of the line, you order, they give you a ticket number, and they have you go down this line to go pay. But when you pay, they also will take your drink order and dessert order.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't you do that all at the same spot? And if you do it all at the same spot, why don't you just pay at the same spot?
Yeah, that makes
When I first went there, you know how confused I was?
Yeah, I know.
But not only is that the part, that's for your regular stuff. If you want to go to just to desserts,
you have to go.
There's a separate line just for that. That goes to the
and it's not either of those ones.
No.
It's a third one.
That place confused the heck out of me when I first went there. Still confuses me today. And it's not even exactly just being confused anymore. It's just being kind of stressed out. I don't get stressed out too easily. But when I go to Neighbor's Mill, I get kind of stressed out.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the menu for like 10 minutes. I'm on my lunch break, by the way. That's the day I was late getting back. And we're looking at the menu, and I'm thinking, I don't want to pay $9 for a salad. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to pay $8 just for a sandwich because I know the sandwich isn't just going to fill me up. Although it's really good sandwiches, they're not huge, and they don't give you like a ton on the side.
They're good sized, I think. And I like their pickles. They give you a pickle spear.
They give you a pickle spear. They give you some chips.
I think that's a good.
Okay, the sandwiches are a better bargain than their salads. Yeah. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So I really love salads, and I wanted to get a salad, but here we go. The one salad I was looking at was I seriously I can't remember. I think it was like $8 for the salad, and I don't remember even what size it was. And we walk up to the counter finally, and they have bowls on their counter, different size bowls, and I'm like, hey, which size is the salad? And she points to a smaller size, and she goes, this is your entree size. I'm like, okay, what the heck, Sable's pan? Can I get that? And she's like, okay. And then she asked Sable what she wants, and I'm like, oh, and can I get this? I want the pesto turkey.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And I go, can I get them on spinach feta? By the way, I love that bread. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh yeah, we can do that. And I'm like, okay, everything's hunky dory. I'm gonna get a $8 salad, basically $8 sandwich. I'm thinking $16 plus whatever Sable's getting, something in a $30 total. We go up to the other side, and the woman's like, "Okay, you guys want any drinks?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want a fountain drink." $20 total. I'm like, wow, we got a steal, bro. What is it, like lunch hour?
Yeah.
And we go to the table, and they call my number. I go up there. I'm seeing a half of a sandwich, and I'm seeing a tiny ass salad.
Yeah.
This is the smallest salad. I'm like, those motherfuckers. Yeah. I look at that. We get the I look back at the ticket, and they didn't overcharge us or anything, but they did they did charge it as if it was a combo meal.
Right.
And you know how upset I was that fact. I wasn't upset at anybody in particular. Just that I was upset at the universe. I wasn't mad at the cashier because who orders 2 entrees at once? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
I get her idea, but I was just like,
yeah,
I wanted one thing. Yeah. Well, actually, technically, I wanted two things, and I only got half of both.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that sucked because, especially because you pointed at the size of the salad that you wanted.
Yeah, I'm like, I want this.
One. Yeah.
5 minutes later, almost, because she's asking Sable, I'm like, oh, and can I get that?
Yeah.
And I end up with half of each. I'm like, whatever. Sable's paying. She didn't get charged double.
Right.
I at least got a mellow yellow out of the deal. And then that same day, I'm trying to empty out the au jus. By the way, the amount of people that don't know what au jus is kind of hurts me a little bit. Do you know what au jus is?
No.
Kind of hurts me a little bit.
Yeah, I love their French dip, by the way.
I'm going to, yes, that's what Sable got. I'm going to describe au jus as basically condensed beef broth. Beef juice, okay? Yeah. Drinkable juice that is delicious for really dipping your sandwiches in.
Yes, or just drinking.
They give you a cup of it for the French dip, at least. And then Sable doesn't really use it. So I go to empty out the trays. First of all, I almost dropped it at the table trying to get it off the table. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I get to the point, where they have you bust your own trays?
Yeah.
And I don't know where to pour my au jus at. I'm looking at the trash hole, and then I see the little, they have the bins for
the dishes.
And I'm like, oh, which one am I supposed to dump it in?
Yeah.
And as I'm holding it,
trying to decide,
it just falls out of my hands onto the counter, splashes all over my crotch down the side, and the fucking thing breaks on the ground. And everybody is looking. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't get necessarily embarrassed by things like that because I can even laugh at myself, but I'm just like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That just sets it right.
On top of not getting the sandwich.
On top of not getting my full sandwich, because I'm still hungry at this point.
From 2 days ago.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
God. So, and all I can hear after that crashes, and from the thoughts of my brain going, oh, that's perfect. Now we have to try to figure out how to pay for this bowl. I just hear Sable's laughter from across the room. And she's just busting out laughing at me.
Man.
But, still worked out. That is the one great thing about Walmart. You can be late from lunch in case something happens like that.
The only good thing about Walmart.
I love Walmart with all my heart.
I don't. I'm not contractually obligated to say that anymore, so I don't love it.
No. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that story came to my mind, but
we're just talking about Neighbor's Mill. I want to sell pizza sauce too, the pizza sauce that I make. Do you know how to jar things? How to can?
You talking about canning?
Yeah. Do you know
my mom does all the time.
Does she have the machine, or do you just do it by hand, or what?
Machine?
Like to vacuum seal it or whatever, or not vacuum, but
I don't know what machine you're talking about. No, my mom, when she cans, I haven't watched her a whole lot, but she just has this big pot with boiling water. She sticks the can down on it, and I think she's just got some kind of contraption where she closes the lid on it. Right.
That might be the machine I'm talking about, but yeah.
Maybe she doesn't even have a machine to do that. I think she has a little clamp that picks the jar up out of the water because it's hot.
Yeah.
And she sets it down, and then I think she somehow puts the lid on there from there. But I don't know of any machine for it.
Well, I want to do that. I want to make and jar my pizza sauce and maybe sell it to the health food store, like Nature's Wonders, or maybe Tallgrass, because they don't sell groceries anymore, but they sell supplements and stuff.
Imagine how expensive canning your stuff gets.
Does it? Well, for the cans.
Well, yeah. Say you're paying for the cans, and then you go give it to this place to sell. You never get those jars back.
The price of the jar, maybe, in the price of the product. That way, when you're selling so many, you take that accumulated amount and put it back into what you're gonna buy. Or
but imagine
you ever get milk from Hudson's and you recycle the bottle and you get like a small refund or something like that.
I have never done that.
Well, they have glass bottles of milk, and if you don't have to, you can keep the bottle, but if you take them back to the store, they give you a little refund. You could do that with the pizza jars.
I like the idea of you make a big batch of this stuff up. You take it to the restaurant or whatever, Tallgrass. I keep using Tallgrass. You take it to Tallgrass, and you say, how about you use this? And then you get your jar back from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They use it up. You bring your next delivery. You bring your empties back with you to your home, wash them, and you fill it back up.
Yeah, that could save some money.
I don't know, man. Or are we just two peas in a podcast?
Two peas in a podcast. You didn't end it there.
Yeah, I think we
that's
should.
a good place to end it. Yeah. I don't really have anything to say to end
It's
it.
one of 2,000.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped it. It's one of 10,000.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.